We played a little bit of Mortal Kombat. We will play Mortal Kombat later, but people I think do like when we do these live reacts. Daisy, do you like when we do live reacts?
It's hilarious.
No.
I also think it is okay. I say it's hilarious to start off with, but I additionally think that it is. It's insightful to like have a chill time talking with somebody who knows a lot about it, whatever the thing we're like live reacting to, or even like can add something totally new that I would have never thought of when I initially watched the video or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
I think Kennedi might be able to add stuff to this video because we are going to watch a little like a 14-minute clip from theScore esports about the famous Sonic Fox versus Perfect Legend 13-0, which is, I think you could call it the Drake versus Meek of Mortal Kombat. So, Mortal Kombat is, like I said earlier, a very important game for the history of fighting games because it really spearheads this move of fighting games coming to console, where they had been arcade exclusives for years, and the ripple effects specifically of Mortal Kombat on consoles were immediate and long-lasting. And so for one, like I mentioned earlier at the top of the stream, it kicked off a sort of like a conversation, like the culture war topic about violence in video games, which still gets dragged out every couple of years now. But it also really like raised the accessibility of fighting games, like you didn't have to be like a PC hobbyist that knows how to load video games from DOS in order to play these games, or spend hours in the arcade. You could spend time at your friend's house. You could have people over, and you could also go to the arcade. Kind of like two different spheres in which you could play fighting games and get good at them. That's when you see fighting games especially take off, and especially in communities of color, especially the African American community. In the case of Mortal Kombat specifically. The competitive Mortal Kombat scene has really been like kept alive since the early 90s by the African American community, and also there are some like folkloric elements that you see sort of like in hip-hop that also cross over into like professional Mortal Kombat. You've got crews of players who are normally like geographically based in a city, who trash talk with other cities, who have beef with each other, and you have these big exhibition grudge matches at tournaments, which are kind of like the fighting game version of a rap battle. So like I said earlier, we are going to watch Sonic Fox versus Perfect Legend. This is the Drake versus Meek of Mortal Kombat. This is the absolute like greatest, like just all-time greatest bodying of anyone in the history of Mortal Kombat. You'll get to see this video does a really good job of tracking the whole like the trash talk, the Twitter beef, all of that, until you finally get to the tournament, like the actual exhibition match, and how it's become like a meme afterward. So like we do when we have a live react. Kennedy, if you want to say pause it and like add more about something. Daisy, if you want to say pause it and add so we can like add more about something, just let me know and I will pause video. And I think we're all gonna learn something. One more note. Sonic Fox, the world's greatest fighting game player, has since come out as non-binary since this match.
What up? Welcome to the family.
Since this match occurred, everyone in like the contemporary footage, like the footage back then, is going to use he/him pronouns, but they are they/them now, or as they like to say on Twitter every time they win a tournament, all caps, "I'm gay, non-binary, and the fucking best at Mortal Kombat." Which they end up saying a lot. Shouts out to Delaware. Okay, are we ready? Do we want to watch this?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Score esports.
In fighting games, legacy means a lot. It's something that can be defined by an incredible play.
Absolutely wrecked.
I could speak for hours about this 30-second clip. I could speak for hours about this 30-second clip. Sorry.
Or even through a rivalry that takes on a life of its own.
I'm not even gonna. Oh my God! Just do it! takes it!
It can be cemented
He actually gets a Charlie horse there. That's why he falls over.
by a famous
Oh God,
victory.
I would too.
He's done it! Galileo's done it! From the impossible consequences of being in the loser's bracket!
Or it can be
no.
immortalized by an infamous defeat.
We're seeing it now! Not like this! What are you standing up?
He stood up after he won game 2, thinking it was game 3, and he ended up getting like perfected on the last game. That was on Sports Center. That was on the
But
not
no
top
matter
10.
the game,
Can
leaving
you
your
imagine
mark on its
thinking you
competitive
won
history is
before you
something
won?
Oh my, yes, actually.
every player dreams of. It's a surefire way to gain recognition and respect from both opponents and fans alike.
Fighting game is something so great.
So great.
However, for a 3-time EVO winner like Carl Perfect Legend White, getting recognized isn't the problem. It's getting respect. Because back in 2015, Perfect Legend's old school trash talk invoked the wrath of a rising star that refused to give him any.
This is bad. This is bad. Teabagging!
And what's
Did the two of you catch the absolute disrespect there?
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
hard
I'm
that
gonna,
refused.
let's get back to the.
This is bad.
Yep.
Teabagging!
Just playing with your food. Just playing with
What
your food.
started as a small online feud between two Mortal Kombat greats quickly escalated into an incident that would become something far bigger.
Wait,
There's
can you
not a
pause it
day
for a
that
sec?
goes by that I
Yes.
I remember you apologized. Dom apologized to Kennedy earlier when you were playing because you were like, "I didn't mean to like kill you so hard." And I think that this is like a good example of that, right? Where the reason that scene was like, we were like, "Did you see what happened there?" was because just absolute disrespected, like quadruple murder.
I'm
We're
yeah.
like, you didn't need
the
you
fact
didn't need to win.
And
you didn't mean
they like
to.
took their time killing him, like just
Yeah.
sat there for like a full 3 seconds. Yeah, you could you could have put him down immediately. But I'm not like, I think I apologized to Kennedy because I wasn't trying to like embarrass her on stream or anything. Yeah,
No, but
it wasn't personal.
But like those kinds of, I'm gonna use the term affectual like qualities. I don't know, the like kind of
Affectual
it,
quality.
sorry, I was in class today. But like
I can't
those
think of a
kinds.
better way to say it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, like those kind of like politenesses, the kind of sense, the like connection that you have to the character that becomes more than a computer that you're controlling, but almost somehow like a performance of politeness.
Yeah.
Like in a fighting game, or like those cultural little like niceties fit into the way that you play the game also, like
It's really
unconsciously.
One of my favorite things about like, the folklore of like video games is how your character can do things like on behalf of you, and how everyone everyone has the language to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for me, what makes video games fun is that, especially Mortal Kombat fun, maybe, is that I'm a very nice person, but you don't have to be nice.
Yeah.
in Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat. And it's understood that it's okay. Anyway.
That good transition, because let's watch two people who are not going to be nice to each other.
don't hear about.
So how did a Twitter beef turn into a widely recognized meme?
auto-generated.
And how in the hell did Perfect Legend get 13-0'd in a 1st to 10?
Come on, PL. You should walk away now,
hey,
homie.
I'm
You
not
should
done.
just go home, bro. You're not gonna come out of this looking good.
Alright, so if you're unfamiliar with the blood and guts underworld of Mortal Kombat esports, let me introduce you to the man, the myth, and the meme that is Perfect Legend. He's an OG fighting game player from Toledo, Ohio.
Yay.
Known for
Toledo?
showcasing
That's why
some
you like this
flashy
guy.
moves
Maybe.
in-game and out. But it was back in 2006 that Perfect Legend really introduced himself as a force to be reckoned with, when he won his first EVO title playing Dead or Alive 4.
Canada wins! Perfect Legend comes all the way through the losers bracket to take Evolution 2005 Dinner Alive 4. Perfect Legend is your champion!
Not long after that, Perfect Legends shifted his attention to Mortal Kombat, cementing himself as one of the best in the scene by claiming back-to-back EVO titles in 2011 and 2012.
And here you go, C Jr. with another opportunity.
Dang.
Perfect Legend not blocking correctly there.
That's
This is going to be a huge combo right here.
No.
That's really close.
Oh, wow.
That would have been it. This is it.
There we
That
go.
was
Perfect
close.
Legend takes it. He's your EVO 2012 Grand Champion.
But for as long as Perfect Legend has been recognized as a top player, he's also developed a reputation over the years for speaking his mind.
I need to go back to
Dang.
that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What'd that say?
It said, I don't tweet for you to agree with me, and I don't care if you do.
I love it.
Reputation over the years for speaking his mind, whether it's about the game or his opponents.
I grew up in the Jordan era, right, where everyone talked trash and they're over competitive. Like that's where I grew up in, and that's me. I'm just competitive. I would say that I'm blunt. I'm not gonna lie to anyone. I'm gonna tell you just how it is.
But since 2015, Perfect Legend's name hasn't...
Did you see just like the look on his opponent's face? Like you can,
Which
I
one?
need to
No.
know what he said, like what he said to him under his breath that made him make this face.
That's
Here,
why I'm
yeah,
blunt.
just watch,
And
just watch
that's,
this.
that's me. I'm just competitive. I would
He's
say
like, what
that I'm
the?
blunt.
Oh, and
Like
he
what
laughs.
must he have just said to him right there?
Oh my gosh.
What I was thinking about, like what he was saying, was like this sounds like the Dozens to me a
Yeah.
little bit,
And-
like where you see who can one, like and literally like what you're playing, but like and then anyway, you can go on.
No,
I have
no,
a
no,
lot
no.
of stuff.
Actually, get into that. If people in
No,
chat,
get into it, yeah.
if people in chat don't know, I know not everyone in chat is a folklorist. Some people
Oh.
are here to for moments
Yeah.
like this. So explain what the Dozens is.
Yeah, so I guess like the Dozens can be described as like an African American, particularly African American, like vocal tradition, I
Mhm.
guess, where you spar with one another to see who, like your mama jokes, who can have the best your mama jokes is basically part of the Dozens. And so like who can one up one another. So it's a verbal tradition, and it's like I feel like what's interesting about this so far, and about thinking about Mortal Kombat as how Dom kind of framed it, as also related to hip hop, is that it's about talking shit
Yeah.
and then backing it up. And so like the characters themselves talk shit in the game, as we've seen.
Yeah.
But then also like the players talk shit. And it's supposed to be good and fun. Sometimes
It most of the time is. I'll say
the diss it gets a little much.
I think the Mortal Kombat players have a higher like ceiling for trash talk. Like, I don't know. If you
Yeah.
smash talk like a Mortal Kombat player around a Smasher, you'll make them cry. Sorry, Smash, you know it's true. But
Seriously, Smash.
should I keep going?
Oh no, that's it. I just thought that was interesting. Because I haven't thought about Mortal Kombat as also like, because like hip hop, I think everyone knows this. So like, sorry if I'm preaching to the choir, but like hip hop was started as like an alternative to actual gang violence,
Yeah.
and so like I feel like to have like this space where you can enact this violence, but it's not physical, in like the reality is interesting. And then like also this aspect of talking shit. And
Yeah.
like talking shit on
Yeah.
Twitter, like this.
Yeah.
I think it's
We're
fun.
talking on Twitter.
More shit talking incoming.
Not gonna lie to anyone. I'm gonna tell you just how it is.
But since 2015, Perfect Legend's name hasn't been tied primarily to any of his accomplishments, or to his attitude. Instead, it's become synonymous with a fateful match that has ascended into, well, legend.
And Daisy, there's, I think, a famous clip
We're
of...
about to talk about legends right now.
Well, I was gonna say there's a famous clip of Sonic Fox taking off their ears when they go down in finals of a tournament, and it makes their opponent like do a double take that you can like see Sonic Fox's hair. So like when the ears come off, you know you're fucked. You know?
The ears come off. We mean business.
They've worn like the whole. I don't know if you'll see it in this, but they've worn the
They've
whole
worn,
like
like, a
head
whole
on
fursuit?
stage. Although at least the head, not like the. You need your fingers.
I can't imagine how you could even play when you're that good, I guess.
When you're a god.
See, Perfect
When you're a
Legend's
god,
troubles
it's not
began
really
on
about,
Twitter when he drew
vision.
the attention of Dominique Sonic Fox McLean, a fighting game prodigy that burst onto the scene in 2014, capturing 2 EVO titles before the age of 18.
Anything will do it. Pull your dragon tattoos out. They're glowing. Oh! He landed on the Caltron. Wow.
Yes.
Very, very nice. All he needed was that little wow.
I think we can put to rest. He's the best.
Anyway, the beef between the 2 EVO champions sparked after NetherRealm's community manager tweeted that you could use any character to win in MK, a position that Perfect Legend didn't exactly agree with.
And what they did is they used Sonic to cite their source of you can win with whoever. And I was like, Sonic won with Kitana, but Kitana got like maybe a laundry list of buffs before that event. And Sonic caught wind of the conversation and I guess initially began to think that I was trying.
Oh, sorry. I have the captions up. You need to see this reply.
I do.
What were you saying, Daisy?
I was just saying I was getting Smash flashbacks.
A little bit.
I do. This is so interesting because like it's such a it's. I mean, again, if you haven't been convinced already that like playing video games in esports or sports, they're like angry and are like, I don't understand other sports. These kinds of like technicalities that are really subtle, like exist in every sport. I don't know, like it's video games or sports people.
They're even
I don't know
talking
who I
about.
need to convince, but
No, this is actually a good argument for that, Daisy, because like the Mortal Kombat development team is talking about how like yes, there's like an engine and the characters are programmed a specific way, but also it's like Sonic Fox can win with anyone, like for lack of a better phrase, on any given Sunday. You know, so like it is the sports element of it all. It's all about showing up.
Yeah, well, and it's like people who get really technical about like sports equipment or like combinations of players or whatever. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we started talking trash and things escalated.
Now, Perfect Legend's original tweet may not have been targeted at Sonic Fox, but it was on. Both players agreed to play an exhibition match at Summer Jam 9 to settle the dispute, and the event began to generate some serious buzz. Now, when you face another player in a tournament setting, you typically play a short set involving a maximum of 3 or 5 games. But the first to 10 is a fighting game tradition that changes that.
You know, first to 10s, one of the reasons why a lot of people like first to 10s or kind of, treat them as super important is because it gives people a chance to adjust and it makes sure that people feel like it's more accurate in terms of who's a better player.
As Sonic Fox arrived for the match, they promised a clean 10-0 and easy money for those who had side bets riding on the flashy furries win. And even though the original challenge on Twitter was about Aaron Black versus Kung Lao, Sonic Fox was allowed to set the terms, so they picked Kitana, a bad matchup for Perfect Legend's Kung Lao.
Although I think Sonic Fox is a heavy favorite, I definitely want PL to win because, love him or hate him, and PL talks, people listen, especially about Mortal Kombat. Right. They definitely listen.
Now, the first round seemed to promise a very close set.
Okay, all right, Perfect Legend looking good.
Oh, man, wasted the EX there, and he ducks the teleport and gets the chip kill. Okay, so that was a pretty close first round. That was
What, Kennedy?
It was just how fast he lost. Perfect Legend lost because like his fans were like, everyone listens to what Perfect Legend says, and like we want. Anyway,
very important to establish on both sides.
But after a few rounds and some absolutely brutal Kitana combos from Sonic Fox, things were starting to look pretty bad for Perfect Legend.
Oh my god, and all unbreakable right now, all unbreakable. Stop! 40%, almost 40% unbreakable. He jumped back once,
and they were about to get much worse.
And they're just like adjusting like no big deal. Like
the stunner, the shimmy. He said,
that's what I was looking at too, Daisy. The body link.
This is bad.
Yeah.
Teabagging.
The body language.
I feel like
this is a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. I get it now, Dom. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like
glad I could help.
Yeah, because sass isn't just like a vocal thing, right? It's like a
Yeah.
whole body
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and like
And again, yeah, and again, like, I don't think sass needs to be bad. I think people read it as bad and as like hubris, but I
Yeah.
think it's like, again, like I think it's like willful confidence, especially like in a society that doesn't want you to be.
Yeah.
And so looking at Sonic Fox, like how he like just did this and like pursed their lips.
Yeah.
Like that was perfect.
Exactly. That's like loosening up. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and it
deal.
looks like Perfect Legend is like in that like old cassette tape commercial and being like knocked backwards by a wall of sound.
Oh my god, so good.
I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you have somebody figured out like that, like, you know, at one point, it gets kind of into a pattern, and you kind of see the same thing over and over again. And fighting games are about pattern recognition after all. So, like, at a certain point, I was like, oh, snap. Like, like about halfway
That was
through.
silly.
Yeah, we gotta watch this.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You got to watch this.
Like, look
Fine.
at that.
After finding himself
Oh,
in
yeah.
a 9-game,
I'm gonna rewind that.
Look at that smile. Because
The comparison between the two.
Yeah.
The utter ease, and also like Sonic Fox seems to be having fun with it. Like they seem to be enjoying and not taking themselves seriously, whereas I think Perfect Legend has a self-important air about this.
Yeah.
Part of my life right now. Like, Sonic Fox is like, lol.
It's the arm up that really does it for me with Sonic right here.
Yeah.
after finding himself down 9 games, it looked like Perfect Legend might rally back. But that hope disappeared very quickly.
Oh my God.
The disrespect. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the match. I don't think it lived up to the hype, but
yeah, if you're down, I'll make the comeback in game 10. Yeah, game 10.
I feel like, I don't know if I'd keep playing. Like, I don't know.
Well, Daisy, I hate to say, but it gets worse.
Learn something here.
Oh no!
I'm sure that Sonic Fox is gonna make some kind of pop off. It doesn't really matter.
Did we really learn anything?
But that wasn't the end of it. No, Sonic Fox wasn't satisfied with just a decisive victory. They wanted to rub salt into Perfect Legend's wounds.
Oh,
You're really good with them now. But I can name 2 that are better with each variation, which I said before with DJT.
Oh no!
And
You're gonna pop off and then you're gonna shut out of Sonic Fox.
And you had to run your mouth on Twitter saying you would body me.
It.
And I told you!
Oh my
I would 10-0 the shit out of you. Did I not say I would 10-0 you?
Anyone else would have probably swallowed their pride.
But did they lie though?
No! No!
Oh my
Like,
god!
and I feel like that's the whole point of shit talking. Like, what my band teacher used to say, like, you can't talk shit if you can't play your shit.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
and like, I don't know. Sonic Fox could back themselves up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was enjoyable.
It's true. I mean, yeah, to like completely obliterate somebody. And then I guess, and then to talk shit is like, well, at least they have a point.
Well, it keeps going.
Oh
I'd
god.
taken the L and gotten the hell out of the building as fast as they possibly could. But Perfect Legend isn't like everyone else. No, instead, he decided to make things infinitely worse.
All right, first off, Sonic Fox, I want you to let you know, like have many times since I've talked to you, you are fucking godlike. I've been saying that to you forever. I'm not done. I have never, ever said he was a bad player. I never said he sucked. I said his fundamentals were bad. I did say that.
PL. Come on, PL. You should walk away now,
Hey,
homie.
I'm
You
not
should
done.
just go home, bro. You're not gonna come out of this looking good.
Scoreboard.
To me, I'm like,
Somebody
dude,
take
I'm
the
done.
microwave.
Like, we just
Take
played
the
a long
microphone
set,
away
whether
from
I
your
got washed or
drunk
not,
uncle,
because I didn't get to the point.
You said take the mic away from your drunk uncle.
Somebody please, we don't need any more toasts. It already happened.
Just let him watch the Lions game and fall asleep after Thanksgiving dinner, please.
So I was trying to make. But it doesn't matter at this point. Big E came on stage. He was like, well, play right now.
And it was in that moment that Perfect Legend made a decision that he would never live down. After being given a thorough beating in front of the electric Philadelphia crowd, he volunteered to sit down and take another.
Then I was in another position where, well, if I don't act on this, I look like maybe a punk or something to them. So I was like, well, I'll play again. I don't care. It was not that big of a deal to me.
I see why someone said toxic masculinity in the chat.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
It's happening.
Yeah, here it is. Here it
in front of us.
Sonic Fox swapping characters did very little to change anything.
Oh my
the
god.
caltrap and does the, oh my goodness.
If I ever needed an example of why toxic masculinity is so sad, to be like, play again! And then your opponent is like, okay, I'll crush you with literally every character. That's the point. Oh god. Okay. I see now. Yeah, I see now too. I'm like, okay.
Oh man, that 2-1 series, man, just working now.
So
that's evil. Look at how man. He's caltrap, in case he gets to the face, he might die due to caltrap ship, but it didn't matter. You just shivarded him. Oh my god. That may as well be the fatal. That may as well be the fatal, right?
And Sonic Fox.
Yeah, they're just like, I know. Yeah, they're kind of like. I feel fine. You obviously are so intense, and I'm intense. I'm crushing you now. It's just sad.
Yeah, watch Sonic. Watch Sonic.
Now it's sad.
Perfect Legend. Come on, man.
Yeah, they were like having fun, and now they're like, I don't know if
this isn't fun for me anymore. Yeah.
Like their body language before was giving like, this is fun. I'm roasting you. Now it's like you asked for this, dude, and I don't want to do this to you.
Oh my god. And still Perfect Legend's like, so like hasn't moved a fucking muscle.
Yeah, only his fingers have moved. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
One game, please, bro. People are chanting 13-0 in the venue.
Oh my god,
are you serious? Sonic Fox asking for the chance.
And Sonic Fox was more than happy to oblige.
Yo, oh man, he might lose here. And now, Sonic Fox, all the meter in the world. Does not cancel the command grab this time. This time he tries to jump. Gets tagged. It's over.
That was supposed to be his round, dude. Oh my god. And the brutal, just because.
Hey, can we talk about Sonic Fox's like the way they picked up the controller in front of them to like mash buttons with the claw like an 8-year-old?
Wait, do that again. Show it again. Show it again.
Yeah, I'll go back.
Hold on. Wait, no, just like a little bit.
It's the real disrespectful 8-year-old move.
This time he tries to jump. Gets tagged. It's over.
So this combo.
That was supposed to be his round.
And then it's like,
oh my god. And the brutal, just because.
Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop.
Oh my god!
Like, it was kind of like a passing the torch moment, so to speak. Like at that point in time,
yes, it was a passing the torch moment. If that phrase normally means then you get beaten to death with the torch you just passed.
Yeah, or like seizing the torch. Yeah, like.
Time Sonic Fox was literally almost unstoppable. Like at that game at that point, so. I kind of felt like it was a foregone conclusion.
Perfect Legend lost 0 games to 13. And the FGC responded by memeing on the whole situation, and even his name.
Straight out of excuses.
Responded by memeing on the whole situation.
Damn.
Saving Perfect Legend.
Perfect Legend.
Oh my god. Wow, straight out of excuses.
Oh man, Pablo's coming back over because he feels so bad.
Oh no.
It was like someone on screen needs comfort. Oh my god.
And
wow,
even his name immediately. Hell, even Lupe Fiasco joined in on the fun.
See, people had an affinity of
Lupe Fiasco
like fall. And
Lupe Fiasco's you mean Street Fighter player Lupe Fiasco?
Yeah.
Also raps sometimes. I've seen him like on stream playing Ryu at tournaments. Yeah, Lupe Fiasco can really play Street Fighter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fail. Like no matter what, they love seeing it. They like seeing the rise of a champion and the fall of a champion. I just so happen to be the one falling on that day to them.
In the years that have passed since the incident, Sonic Fox has gone on to cement themselves as arguably the greatest multi-game competitor the FGC has ever seen. Their 13-0 in this infamous first to 10 is but a footnote in a legacy that continues to grow with added silverware.
Wow.
But for Perfect Legend, the incident is far more than that. It's transformed into a haunting joke that has sadly become
That is really
defining.
sad.
This three-time EVO winner
Things do
isn't
not,
celebrated for
go
his
away on the
greatest
internet.
achievements. Instead, he's endlessly reminded of his most public failure.
There's
That's
not a
pretty
day
sad.
that goes by that I
like that.
don't hear about it. That since that day, there's not a single day, unless I turn my entire phone off and don't go on the internet and stuff, I will hear about it. I can be debating
You know, it
Just-
really makes
This is about injustice. Like we're talking
yeah, like we're literally not.
we're talking about a
Oh,
different game,
God.
and the replies are still 13-0.
topic that has nothing to do with fighting games, video games in general, and people will bring up 13-0 like to dehumanize me or something. Like I can't have an opinion. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous, you know.
But in spite of
kinda
all the
ridiculous.
ill will that is regularly thrown his way, Perfect Legend remains as committed as ever to fighting games. He's still competing regularly, organizing events, and streaming.
That's cool.
He might not have added another EVO title to his trophy cabinet, but there's still time for him to remind everyone that he was a legend before he was turned into a meme.
It happens. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like, I don't think PL
Legends
story
turn
is
to
necessarily
meme,
over. And like, there's certainly times like
I
we
wrote
write
something
history.
about that
I mean,
once.
Yeah.
although at this point in time, yes, they will be thinking about PL. At the same time, just the fact that they're bringing up his name every day, even though he got body, like, definitely cannot be a bad thing. That cannot be a bad thing.
Even though he
Definitely
got a body.
There are people who are living through me in that moment. And I get that. They're invested. I understand. You know, I appreciate them for caring about the scene and just the sport of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because that in itself is beautiful. So, like, that's dope. Outside of all this, that we created something amazing, I think.
Wow, I got a lot of meme thoughts
Think so?
now and legend thoughts.
Yeah, memes are legends becoming memes. That's kind of
Legends
that's an
becoming
okay
memes,
definition
memes
of
becoming
ascension.
legends.
Yeah,
Well, that's I kind of wrote about Tide Pods in that way. Like
Yeah.
anytime somebody who's commenting 13-0, they're like
they're keeping the
they're
legend alive.
they're keeping the legend alive. Like they're keeping that like
No.
and it's not even about the individuals at that point anymore. It's about like the legendary figure of the like pro player or whatever.
I was
in
gonna
that
say the
particular
legend
moment.
is
Like,
Sonic Fox, but
but it's also the event itself is like legendary.
yeah,
You know,
I'm gonna
it's,
cut.
also, it's hysterical that Perfect Legend is also had the Perfect Legend, and then the 1-3 for
13
that,
letters in his
yeah,
name. 13 letters in his tag. by the
13
way.
letters in his name.
It's
and
too
like
good.
And like the LE is the 1-3. It's
Yeah.
like pretty. That just is all adding to like the legendiness, the ambiguity of his legendariness. Basically, is I think the part that made it funny. I wonder, what do you think? Do you think that this would have been as like prolific, legendary of a moment if he hadn't like said, "Can we keep going?"
Oh my god, no! If it was first to
No
10,
way, right?
If it was first to like, I've seen first to 10s and first to 7s where like, people just have you just have your opponent figured out, whether you just like picked the right character to counter them, or just like you were in your opponent's head. That totally happens on any that could totally happen every time you pick up a controller. But like, yeah, the fact that he got up. Kennedi, what did your band teacher say? What was that you said earlier?
What? You can't talk shit if you can't play shit.
Yeah, the fact that he talked shit after losing, he couldn't play shit. He lost, he went 0-10 and then kept talking shit and had to drop another 3 games. No, that I think it is that extra 3 games that makes this
it would have
such an
been left
iconic moment.
alone, I think. And it kind of reminds me of like those that happened during the pandemic, the versus battle.
Yeah.
Like,
This is very much like the versus battle of fighting games.
because there's sometimes like people who are like put up against each other where there's like no question who's going to win, but like the person that sucks or sucks in the comparison of the two is the one that talks shit, and it's like, no, baby, like it's you that should be quiet. And like it's like they don't seem to get it until like they lose repeatedly, and then like it just becomes a joke. And I think that that's what happened here, and it's sad that like it's still a joke for them, but I don't know. Maybe it's a cautionary tale as well.
I definitely think so. Other than that, Kennedi, any closing thoughts on the live react video?
guess you have me thinking about Mortal Kombat as hip hop culture. Honestly, I think that would be really fruitful.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Even like yeah, I don't know if anyone's written about that, but it's I don't know, just something
Then, like, you
I've
can have,
experienced
like,
as a fighting player. Yeah, fighting game player.
yeah, the fight is the rap battle. The like people that you belong to, whether like you're the gods or like you're the military humans, like that's your posse or your crew. I think that would be interesting to look at.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of like affiliation across regions based on what character you play too. I feel like people at tournaments will hang out with other people who play their same character. Both like to like learn stuff from each other, but also as like a point of pride. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Like the other cool thing about it is that when you choose avatars, there's like you're describing like the in-game like dynamics, but then there's also like the community dynamics that do congregate around those certain characters too. So there's almost like this double layer of community affiliation that happens, or that like is imbued both in the game and the community that plays it. Like, that's so interesting.
I think
Damn,
the
now
biggest
I'm thinking some thoughts too now. Damn.
the biggest articulation of this I can think of is in Smash, where the Swedish foxes who used to run things for a while, like 5 or 10 years ago, just players from Sweden who all played Fox.
Yeah.
And well, not just played Fox, but also had a very technical and like very clinical procedural way of playing that Fox was perfect for. But it was like there was like a reputation of like a regional clique based on how they played the character, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking too about like the history of the game. Like we've been playing Mortal Kombat 11, but you know, there's so much history in it, and just like there's so much history in the evolution of hip hop. Like I wonder if I like knew more about the lore within the game, like how that would relate to those histories, or like if I don't know.
I'd also be interested in like how women players or like femme players have been treated in Mortal Kombat, because I wonder too if Sonic Fox was under what's the word? They didn't take them as seriously when they were playing against.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they chose Katana instead of like someone that could match. What did they say? Like that was an equal match or whatever. And
They picked Katana, and people were like, "Oh, this is kind of cheap," because they picked a matchup that's really in their favor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that would also be interesting in like showing that parallel between how women in hip hop have been treated
and women in fighting games That's a whole
in general,
whole discussion for. There's a lot said of there's been a lot said about that. Look up Milk if you're interested. Look up Milk T's TED Talk about women in fighting games. It's great. I love Milk Tea.
Yes.
Anyway,
yeah.
Oh, and Sonic Fox definitely does get crap for having a persona wearing the fursuit on stage, but like they like to say every time they win, I'm gay, non-binary, and a furry, and I am the best in the world at insert game they are playing right now: Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball, Skullgirls, etc. Oh, you found the Milk Tea TED Talk. Let's go.
It's not a link to the video, but it's a link to the page where the video is, but it's through TED, just so people know that.
Nice.
They can check it out. Yeah, I thought I'd drop it in.
She's an old school Smash player from like 2002. Yeah.
Sonic Fox definitely gets crap for having a fursona. Well, I do have to say a little bit of what has become of furry culture online is like getting crap for being a furry. So.
Yeah.
I think it's like the furry becomes the scapegoat for like all of the like queer identities that people have sometimes too. But that's another paper and another episode of Folkwise Live. Let's go to break.
Yeah, well, if I can wrap it up with something else Letter Danny said, I wonder if it would be different if he had just been a good sport about losing. I think if Perfect Legend was a good sport, we wouldn't have had a 1st to 10 in the first place.
Yeah.
So in many ways, I'm glad he wasn't.
Yeah. Seems like he's learned something.
Quotes have meaning on many levels. Making quotes helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of really working my way out of the labyrinth.